Welcome, everybody. Just getting started. Definitely a controversial topic today. Taking 10 guests. Let's see what you think. Streaming live on the other platform and on TT as well. So welcome. Got some good music in the background. I think it's some pretty good tunes. It's very dramatic. So let's see as more and more people join and hang out. We're just getting started, so there should be a lot of people in today. Let's hope so anyway. Let me know your thoughts. And I'm going to be taking 10 guests on this controversial topic. Or is it controversial? Is it not? We saw some stuff today in a meeting with Trump, and you can see the image right there about this guy, Nick, whatever his name was, showing that someone burned a flag and he brought it to a meeting. Obviously some sort of political stunt. But it made us think, like, there's so many people that are so patriotic that maybe we shouldn't be burning flags. I understand both sides of this story, and I want to hear from 10 people. So if you want to be the first guest, everybody's going to get 90 seconds to tell me your thoughts on should people be allowed to burn the American flag for protest reasons primarily. Let's talk about it for that, for protest reasons. And I'm going to take 10 people that are going to share their thoughts on this. You get 90 seconds to share your thoughts, and then we're going to move on to the next person. So if you want to get your thoughts together and let me know what you think, if you agree or disagree that we should be able to burn the American flag legally. Forget about the law at the moment. Just should we be able to burn the American flag in terms of a protest? So that's what today's topic, as TikTok is notifying more and more people to join. You saw the image right there. I think you can see the image. I don't know if my head's in the way or not, but this guy brought an American flag to a meeting with Trump today, and Trump said you should, call Pam Bondi, and she should prosecute these people, whoever burned this particular flag. And of course, he talked about, I think taking away the First Amendment is no longer a thing, is what Trump said today, which I laugh, but at the same time I cry, right? Like, this is getting a little ridiculous when a president says the First Amendment doesn't apply, and he took it away. Like, he literally said that. Was bewildering. It was yesterday. Was that yesterday? It may have been yesterday. The days just blend in together. I saw it today on Reddit, so thank you, Prozil, for correcting me. So at least maybe not too late. And if anyone wants to jump in as a guest and let me know their thoughts first, again, you get 90 seconds to tell me or tell the group here whether you think we should be allowed to burn the flag legally, and even morally or socially, is it acceptable? Like, at what point? So again, we're going to get some people. We normally do get people from the right, from MAGA, from liberals, and everything in between. And we have civil discussions here. And thanks for the likes and so forth. Helps expose the live to more and more people. So we got our first guest. It's going to be Prozili. You're up first. Let me make sure I got your volume up. You're going to hear a beep. You're going to get about 90 seconds. I'm not going to cut you off at exactly 90, but I want to get 10 people in here that want to share their thoughts. Should we be able to burn the flag, American flag, legally as a form of protest? So Prozili, you're up first, and then we got Billy the Kid 439 up after that. So Prozili, let's go. You're first. Give me one moment to cut out some music here. It's just about done. And here we go. We got someone else in the box as well. And let me turn up the volume. So Prozili, you're up first. Let's give you 90 seconds. Welcome to the show. What are your thoughts on this topic?
All right, thank you. I don't need 90 seconds. I just want to say I am a retired soldier. I just retired last year. I
Thank you for your service.
I agree with upholding the Constitution at every level. It is what it is. We're not gonna like everything that everybody does in reception to the rights that are provided by the Constitution. We don't have to like it, but we have to respect it. If they find that that's the way they can express that freedom, absolutely go ahead and burn a flag, but understand that the sacrifice that was made, whether it's the American flag or any other flag, because I live in a community where I've had a neighbor that had flown a different national flag above the American flag, and a neighbor went and took it and burnt shredded the other national flag, and I wasn't happy with that because, like I said, a lot of us fight for our flags regardless of country. So I think you should respect the flag and respect those who sacrifice for it. But at the same time, if you're gonna burn the flag, just understand that you no longer have the right to complain, whine, and vote or do the other things for this country that you technically burnt. This no longer applies. Like you no longer have those rights as well. You burnt all those rights with the burning of the flag. That's how I feel about it.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for your viewpoint. Interesting, very well said, I think. And thanks for your service. And we'll take the second guest. I'm going to take 10 guests. I'm not going to even comment on most of the time unless it's something egregious. And I appreciate you joining, and I hope you follow.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brazil. See you. All right. So I need to keep tally. So that a former military serviceman agreed that you may not like it, but it is a constitutional right under the freedom of speech, and that's been upheld many times by the Supreme Court. So that was his point of view. So welcome, Billy the Kid.
Yeah, to answer your question, I think we should be able to burn the flag because we do have the freedom to do so.
By the way, let me take I shouldn't have asked the last caller as well. Are you right-leaning, left-leaning? Are you right, left, and what generation are you?
Middle.
So you're independent, relative.
Yes.
Okay, independent. What generation? Gen Z, Gen Y, Gen X?
Gen X.
Gen X. Okay. All right, go ahead. Sorry. So you think we should be able to burn the flag? Why?
Because the Democrats suck, and I just want to protest them.
You want to burn the flag to protest the Democrats?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we should all be burning flags in the name of Charlie Kirk.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for your viewpoint. You didn't even need 90 seconds, so that's two people that agree should be able to burn the flag. Thanks for joining.
Sweet.
All right. So we got two. Let's see. We got Roger. You're up next. Don't even need the 90 seconds sometimes, but you're welcome to take the 90 seconds. And waiting for Roger to join. Welcome, Roger. Should we be able to burn the American flag as a form of protest? What are your thoughts?
100% yes.
All right, where do you lean? What generation? And are you leaning left, right, middle? Where are you?
I'm an old guy. I'm a huge Trump supporter, but I'm not. I'm a registered Democrat. I voted for Obama twice. But yeah, so 100% it's your right to burn the flag as an American because we have unfettered free speech, and that's one of the amazing things about the American experiment. The problem I have is that and I would never burn a flag. I think blood was shed for that flag, so I respect that. I would never do that, and it pains me to see people do it. But the problem I have is when these protesting acts have become like noble, and let's just be honest. You're talking about standing in the street, right? That's third world political machinations. We have elections in this country, and standing in the street, it says that elections don't work. It's, you know what I mean? And
What do you mean, standing in the streets? Are you talking about protests?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, you don't like people being able to protest in the streets?
No. I don't like it. They have the right to.
Okay.
I don't like it. And I mean, isn't the point of protest to reach people like me who don't like it? Like to burn the flag is to reach people like me who don't like seeing it burned. But protest has become elevated to like a constructive activity. And dude, it's what they do in Egypt and stuff when they run out of food. In the United States of America, we have a political system which has, imperfectly trumped every other system. So when you stand in the street and block traffic and things like that, you're saying that the system doesn't work. Yeah,
Okay.
and that's
Well,
what people
those
say.
people might think that, right, though?
Sure, but you can make your voice heard. So that's a good point. So they
Well, I don't
think
want to
that.
go down the rabbit hole. I actually
No,
want to
no,
stay
no.
out of it most of the time. I'll give you another
But
20
the
seconds because there's a lot of
yeah,
guests
okay.
waiting.
The irony there, and I'll give you that. The irony there is those people then who don't believe this system works, they're anti-democratic, and aren't they standing in the street to save democracy? You see, so it contradicts. So you have every right to burn the flag. People died to give you that right. Yeah, God bless America. Woohoo!
All right. Thanks for
Cool
joining.
hat, dog.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, man. Thanks
Yeah,
for joining.
thank you, man. I hope you have a good show.
All right,
Thanks a lot.
thanks.
Peace out.
All right, so that's 3 votes for burning the flag, even though with reservations, it sounded like. So let's see who's up next. Bass Reeves, you're up next. What are your thoughts as you're joining? We got 3 votes so far that it's legal to burn the flag, and they think that they should uphold that, even though there were 2 pretty hardcore right people, I believe, out of those 3. Okay, so Bass, what's up?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm a Gen Xer. No, Gen Y.
Thank you for saying that.
Gen Y.
Okay.
No, Gen Z. That's the recent one, right? Because Alpha's after that.
No,
I'm
well, Gen
98.
Z is the youngest, so to about
98.
18 to 25, 18 to 29, and then millennials, and then Gen Z, X.
I'm 98, whatever 98 is. Pretty much what I believe, man, is if you burn the flag, dude, I mean, I believe that you pretty much just relinquished all your rights.
So you believe you should be
yeah, I
you
respect
should
the
not be an
gentleman.
American? If you said that, you mean maybe you shouldn't be they should revoke your citizenship if you burn the flag? Would you go that far?
Yes. I respect because I respect the guy's view of he'd been in the military, and I know people who have life altering events that have happened to them since then, post traumatic PTSD, and then you have these people say, oh, F the country, they're murderers, and it's murder, I'm sorry, and it's like it's not even true. And it's like these people fought for our rights. I believe that's like the lowest of the low. You could burn anything else,
Okay.
but a flag should be one of them things. It's almost like burning a Bible. It's almost
So
like
you put the
burning a
flag
Quran.
burning is more important than the First Amendment and free speech, which is okay. I mean, it's
Yes.
your point of view. Okay, cool. All
I
right.
believe all those people should go to an Epstein's Island full of Diddy oil.
Oh boy, you're going all out there. Okay, well, thanks, Bass. I appreciate your point of view, and I'll take the next caller.
I appreciate you,
All right, you too. Thank you. Okay, who's up next? Let's see. We got, wrong button. Let's see who's up next. So we got 3 votes to burn the flag, 1 absolutely not, almost revoke your citizenship. Mr. Global's joining us next, and you want to give your point of view, or are you just hanging out?
Oh my gosh, what am I hearing? I've heard 4 people. Oh my gosh.
All right.
That's wild.
Do you want to give your point of view?
My mind goes to, what about these protests where we've got people that have a Hamas flag or a Islamic flag that they're flying, yet they're burning the American flag? I feel like that in itself is a paradigm shift that just, I don't know.
So you don't like it, but are you for burning it? If someone wants to protest and burn their flag, are you cool with it? Not cool with it, but
I'm conflicted on it just because when you go to Boy Scouts, that's the proper way to decommission a flag once it's of age, is to burn it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but as far as in a form of protest, I don't like it.
All right, so you're going to go no? So you should not be able to burn your flag legally as a form of protest.
I would go no, yeah.
Okay. All right, so we got you as a no. So we got 5 of you. All right, you can hang out. You want to welcome to stay in, of course. We'll bring in Hi Bura next. 90 seconds. Welcome. Well,
There, can you hear me?
Yeah, welcome to the show. What do you think? What generation are you, first off? And what do you think on American flag burning?
So I am a old millennial, and I am also a military veteran, female military veteran. So
thank you for your
large
service.
group of people already don't really care what I have to say being a millennial. Thank you. I do think that burning the flag is distasteful. It kind of pulls at my heartstrings when I see it. I don't like it. However, I do think that it is your right. Lots of people fought and died for that right. Lots of people served their country for that right. And I think it's a really slippery slope if we're going to start throwing people in prison because they're burning the flag.
So you don't like it, but
what's
you
next?
respect the Constitution and allowing it to happen.
100%. I don't like it. And the last thing I'm going to say is I do believe you are free to choose, but you are not free from the consequences of your choices.
Thank you. Well said. Very well said.
If you get caught burning the flag and your employer didn't want nothing to do with you, I support that. If you lose friends, if you lose family because you were showing your butt, I support that. But at the end of the day, It is your
Social
right.
consequences, yes, but legal consequences, absolutely not. Sounds like.
Correct.
Well said. Well said. All right. Well,
Thank you.
thanks for your point of view, and thanks for answering.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. All right, we got ABBA first. Next, 90 seconds. Have you joined? So we got 4 yeses and 2 nos, and then we're going to have a lively discussion after we get 10 people. We're going to go into it a little bit deeper, I think. So, welcome, ABBA.
What's going on? Gen X,
Thank you.
veteran,
Thank you for your
and
service.
listening to everybody make their excuses about burning a fucking flag is ridiculous. Pardon my language. I'm prior Navy. It's hard for me to speak passionately and not curse because I find it ironic that in a nation that still allows people to fly the Confederate and Yahtzee flags, which are literal enemy combatants of the U.S., they have an issue with people burning a flag. When we sit up here and watch people's human rights be violated every day, we are watching a administration that is literally undermining the Constitution, and for people to whine over a fucking flag while we have an administration that is literally attacking people's human rights, healthcare rights, employment rights, and all kind of other actual physical life-sustaining rights, it makes no sense to me. It is pure hypocrisy. So you care more about a rag than you do the Constitution and what that flag literally is supposed to embody. That is the problem with a lot of these people. It's almost as though they are projecting their true sentiments about this nation and trying to cloak it in a flag. If you cared about Americans, you would be more concerned about American lives than you are about a flag. And if you really cared about that flag, you would make sure that everyone who claims to care about that flag lived up to what the American Constitution has been molded into, because that's kind of where the epitome of this differentiation is. People, if you've noticed, the people who have an issue with the flag being burned, they don't mention how they don't have a problem with the Confederate and Yahtzee flags being in this nation. When you think of the person who made the illusion, oh, if they're flying the Hamas flag or yada 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 and burning the America, it's the same thing. If you see people who go around here, they don't love America. They are taking advantage of the U.S. Constitution, weaponizing whatever issues they have, and then undermining the literal Constitution at the same time.
I don't want to make light of your emotion, and I'm not when I say this, but I'm going to gather to guess that you're okay and you support the protesting and burning the American flag.
Yeah, because I would rather they burn flags than burn humans, which is literally what we're about. We are witnessing a decline in American values where you're seeing people get wrapped up in their emotions, and
Yes.
they claim that if you make me feel some type of way about a piece of fabric, or if you make me feel a type of way about how, like, think about this. This is one of the, I guess,
All right,
the
just do me a favor. I'll give you 30 seconds to wrap it up.
But if you look at the State of the Union right now, there is a majority of the nation that has more of an issue with adults of the same sex consenting to engage with one another than they do with people who are literally out here assaulting children. That is what I'm talking about. They make these false equivalencies, or they fail to grasp the reality of what is occurring. You're more concerned with LGBTQ rights than you are with literally protecting children who can't consent.
All right.
So there's the issue with these people.
All right. Well, thank you for your point of view. I respect that. I appreciate you coming on and giving a point of view. I'm going to jump to the next guest.
You're welcome. Good night.
Thank you. All right. So we're 5-2. This is it's like a game in the first quarter that's running away in the second quarter, third quarter. It's running away for the yeses. Let's see if we're going to make a comeback for the next 3 people. So let's see. I thought I just invited somebody in. So, and they dropped out. So anyone else want to answer the question? It looks like we have no one waiting in the chat yet, and we don't want to cut the game short here. But one person did want to hold me accountable and said that was longer than 90 seconds, and they were right. And we do have someone in here. Oh, Rick, you're gonna have to keep it to 90 seconds. I know we go longer than that sometimes, but 90 seconds. Welcome, Rick.
I think not only should you be able to, but I think you should. I think that everybody at this point should. Like, the reality of the United States as an institution is that it's a genocidal ethno-colony. Like this is like it's a fascist government.
All right. Well,
Of course you should
would you have said that? Would you have said that 20 years ago as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So
would
no
say
matter,
200 years ago.
this has nothing to do with the era that we're in. This has everything to do with your belief that we should burn the American flag because,
The United States is a genocidal.
yeah, you hate America. We understand. I understand that you hate America.
Like it's like it's founded on.
We're not going to go into this now, Rick. That's
When I talk to Puerto Ricans, they hate the flag, right? Like they hate the American flag.
their flag almost looks identical, doesn't it?
So do Native Hawaiians. So do indigenous people in the country. They're not flying that flag. They're getting rid of that flag when they see it for the most part.
All right, Rick, you're in the yes column as the sixth person. I don't know. I might almost have to throw yours out and not even count it, but no, I appreciate you coming on and your point of view as usual. Rick's always in the car. He's a regular firebrand of the show? He's one of our firebrands, which we like speaking to people with different opinions. Sometimes it just goes down a rabbit's hole. All right, so we got the next Oboro. Welcome to the show.
I'm post boomer.
Did you say post boomer?
Anyway, age 50. Yeah, 50.
So Gen X.
Anyway,
He's got key bars
I'm just
on.
going. Yeah, I'm just going back to Aaron Bushnell, who the soldier who self-immolated himself. He was a soldier, American soldier, who went to the Israeli embassy, and he did self-immolate with a flag and in his uniform. And he called before he did it. He said, "This is an extreme protest," and I think I'm for him doing that, and I remember what he did and what he said, and I'm just going to recall that I think Trump does a lot of things in revenge. I think it was because the pride flag, people were getting convicted or cited for hate or arson or vandalism. One of the three, depends on the prosecutor, for burning the pride flag. So in response, they added this as a rider to the American flag to be equal with that. So I think both of these protests should be allowed, and people need to control their feelings about that.
Okay,
But
so you're
I
the
just want to remember Aaron
seventh
Bushnell,
yes.
and I'm definitely for a protest.
All right. Well, thank you for your point of view. You're 7-2 now. You're in the yes column. Thanks for answering. Okay, so moving to Firefly Acres. This might be pretty much a blowout, which I'm really surprised about. I did not think there was going to blow out of this, but maybe we'll have a little overtime. Firefly, welcome to the show. What are your thoughts? And what generation?
Well, I'm border, so I'm Gen X and boomer,
Okay.
born in 65.
Okay. Yep.
So anyway, I believe that me personally, I would not do it, but I still believe that if it's somebody's choice, they are able to do it.
All right. So that's 8 of the yeses, even though you would not do it. Is there any circumstance, since you have a little bit more time, is there any circumstance where you would do it?
No, because I was a Cub Scout leader, and I explained to all of my Cub Scouts how to properly dispose of the flag.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, as
but
Mr.
I do
Global
it.
here said. Yeah. What about, so you're not
I have
old enough, you're not old enough to protest against the Vietnam War, but what would you have said? Would you have been in the Vietnam War protests?
So like all the protests that are going on now, I stay home, stay safe. I'd love to participate, but I'm not that radical and right at the moment. It's probably, I can't run faster than some people.
Okay. All right. Well, you're the 8 vote for yes. Thanks for answering and appreciate you joining. And I'm going to have some
you.
comments in a moment here.
All right.
Thanks. Okay. We're going to do even though it's not really deserving of an overtime, if there's a couple of people that want to get their chime in, we got Jim that's going to join next. So we're 8-2 that people believe in protest, generally speaking, that you should be able to burn your flag. Burn the American flag in protest. And Jim, do you want to maybe make a comeback for the other side, or are you for it?
I am dead set against it. I was in the military.
Thanks
I
for your
risk
service.
coming home under that flag, and the people that burn it have no taste or no respect for those people that do risk their lives coming home under a flag instead of being able to wave it. You burn the flag, you're disrespecting America.
And is there under no circumstances that you think it's worthwhile disrespecting America? No matter what happens to America, at no circumstance you think that you would want to burn that flag in protest.
I think that the people that come here from Mexico or Islam that burn our American flag should be burned at the stake myself.
Okay. Well, very clear view, Jim. I appreciate your view, and thanks for joining.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we have a little bit of a comeback. We're going to see if their comeback has any legs in it, if there's anybody else that wants to. So this is 8-3, so we took more than 10, so we took 11. If there's anyone else that wants to give, I actually think there's a 9th because there's someone saw someone in the comments. People can leave it on the comments as well if they don't want to join audio or video. Okay, so by the way, if you're new to the show and new to TK Civics, Mr. Global is a regular guest of the show. You don't have to support my views. So when I give you my personal views, they're my personal views of things, and I don't give a shit whether you totally agree with it or not. That's not the point. We're Americans. We should be able to disagree. If you don't believe with that, maybe you're not. Maybe you should question how much of a patriotic American are if you can't disagree with someone. So when I give you my personal views, don't hold a personal issue against me or anybody else, because I think that creates, again, you have to question your own values if that's the case. But the one issue that I ask you never to question, and you have to agree with me on, otherwise I don't know, what am I going to do? Absolutely nothing. But is eliminating corruption from government, meaning making sure there's no special interest money, corporate money, and billionaires are out of our government, and removing all career politicians from both parties. I am a fierce independent because I voted across the board over the past almost 40 years, 30x years, and I voted all across the board, and I've always been an independent. I've never been associated with any party of any kind. But with that said, the number one root cause of all the problems in America, I contend, is the corruption by special interests, all the special interests, billionaires and corporations. And if you agree with that, that's really the only thing I hope that you do agree with me on, and you'll follow this channel, because that's what I spend most of my time working towards, is making sure we're working towards that. And it's not any one issue, because all of our issues, no matter what it is, even if it's something this controversial, can be resolved and compromised on to some extent, even though this one's not against the law. So that said, we got USA Vet. With that username, I can't not accept you in. So USA Vet, you're going to be the 12th before I give my thoughts on it. What are your thoughts? Welcome, and what generation are you?
Oh, boomer, if you can call me that. But yeah, technically by birth year, boomer.
All right, boomer. All right, so you want to be disassociated with boomers, even though you're a boomer, it sounds like, by that comment.
Generation Jones, more like it.
Okay, so what are your thoughts? Should you be able to burn the American flag in protest?
Yeah, and as a vet, I joined to fight for the right to people to protest. If that's what they want to do, they're allowed to do it. That's their right.
You know what's interesting about that is we've had, I think, like 6 or 7 vets, and I think 2 of those vets have said no, and the other vets have said yes, which was interesting because I would have thought more vets would have been conflicted over this topic. But out of the small sample size that we have, most of you are agreeing you fought for the flag, and even though you fought for the flag, you understand the values, or you're suggesting the values are more important than someone's taking away the right to burn their flag in protest.
Exactly. That's our freedom, and that's what we went to join the military for.
Right. To uphold the Constitution, right? That's what your oath was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right. If you were given orders against the Constitution, you were supposed to disobey those orders, right?
Yes, and I would have.
Right.
Thank God. I served during peacetime. I got out right before Iraq, and 9/11, so, or 9/1, yeah, 9/11. I got out in '89, so I'm totally peacetime, and I give credit to those guys that went to war.
Right on.
They did a hell of a lot more than me.
All right. Well, thank you for your point of view in casting, I would like to say the deciding vote, but it was not the deciding vote. It's sort of a runaway here. So thanks for joining and thanks for giving me your point of view. And I hope you follow and watch some of the other shows.
Yeah, I sure will.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
bye.
Thank you. All right. So I think now I'm going to go to a little round robin, or I don't know what I'm going to call it. If anybody wants to join as a group and you want to have a civil discussion on this, I'm going to let 2 or 3 people in. We can have a civil discussion around this, sort of just to wrap up this particular topic. And while we're doing that, so anyone else who's joining, Prozili, you're going to be accepted in, and I'm going to give you my point of view on this topic, whether people, again, you don't have to agree with me. That's okay. But I hope we respect each other's points of views. So here's my view on it. If anybody else wants to join in and have a civil discussion, just jump into the box and I'll add you in. I'll probably take about up to 4 or 5 people, as long as you keep it civil. Otherwise, you get booted. Rick Shaw, you're coming in as well. Okay. So here's my thoughts. It's very much like probably like the 5th caller that said, now, would I ever burn the flag? Do I think it's the right of all Americans to burn the flag? I don't think it's a right. It is a right. It's a freedom of speech. As long as you're not harming someone else, you have the right to do it. Would I do it? No. But under extreme circumstances or something, then I would. I don't think there's no limit where if you believe in American values and the American Constitution, and some parts of our government start to continue or start to disobey the Constitution or basically trash the Constitution, would I, in that sense, potentially burn the flag as a form of protest? I don't see anything wrong with it. When you're so angry with your government and you're using it as symbolism to say that I'm pissed off and I'm burning the flag, that is our right as American citizens, and that is the law. And you don't have to agree with it, and I would generally never want to do it, but I would always want to uphold the option to do it under the right circumstances. And the one I mentioned earlier was the Vietnam War. So if I was against the Vietnam War, which at that time I can't say how adamant I would have been or not would have been because I wasn't alive at that time, but that I think is a good example of people saying, listen, they're going to burn the American flag because they are angry that we're going into a country and starting a war and they're protesting their government. It is their right. Now, again, there might be social consequences with your family, with your friends, with your jobs, and I also think that is right. So if you want to burn the flag in protest, you certainly can and should, but I think you should also be careful. Now, that also then moves to when they play the national anthem at a sports event, should you have to stand up? And what should you do if you if you don't stand up? Like, these are all, or like in years past, kneeling down on the, so I support the Constitution always 100% as it is written, and it is a protected, it's the number 1 amendment, right? It's the first part of the Bill of Rights. So like those people, the 3 people that said no, this was about 66 or 70% of the people agreed it should be yes. I'm actually a little surprised at that number. I thought it would be more 50-50, but I can commend those people, in my view, that you are adhering, no matter how disgusted you might be in it, you are adhering to the Constitution and values, and we need to be bigger than just a symbol of burning the flag. We need to be upholding our values. I don't know when we've become so insecure as an American population that we can't protest, even though it is part of the First Amendment as well. I think that's sad, and you're starting to get more emotional and not valuing the Constitution. So if you consider yourself a patriot, you can be disgusted. I understand that point of view. But in my view, you absolutely have the right to burn the flag. Hopefully you wouldn't need to do it, but at some point you reserve the right to do it as a form of protest. So that's my point of view. So now we got some other people in here. We got Rick, Prozili, and Sassy. We can open it up to have just sort of a civil conversation and bounce things off of one another. So who wants to go first?
I have to say a few words. We're all
all right. So Prozili was in first, so I'll let Prozili start it, and then we'll kick it off there.
Okay, so I was the first person that came up, so a lot of people didn't hear my point of view. I am a retired soldier and Navy sailor, so I did 12 years in the Navy, and then I finished my career in the Army with 8 years. Um, and I agree, like you were saying earlier, that absolutely, if you decide to burn a flag in protest or any other way, it is your constitutionally given rights to do so. Go ahead and do it. I personally probably will never talk to you again, right? And if I see you doing it, we probably even fight, right? But I do not believe the administration should, or obviously they don't have the rights to, right now, they don't have the rights to really protest, I mean, to arrest or do anything to you individually. And if you don't like the code, as President Donald Trump said about funding and finances, if you don't like the code, or if you don't, change the code. If you don't like the rules, change the code. Until then, I do believe it is a given right through the Constitution, and it needs to remain so. People should be free to do that again, but I think that should be the last right that you get to exercise as well, right? If because it's an idea. For me, the flag is not just the fabric, like the brother said before that. It is the idea. It is the country. So if you're burning the country, then there is no more rights for you to
You're burning the symbol of a country, right? So
correct. So there's no nothing. Everything goes with that. So you have no protection.
couldn't you argue the opposite though, that the people that are burning the flag are upholding the American values as much as those people that agree that disagree with it, because they're using that right to send a message that this is my right and I am burning it. Again, you might fight with them, might disagree with them, but you could very much argue that those people are just as patriotic as the other side, because they're
And
actually
again, yeah, absolutely. That would be a great
counterpoint, right?
rebuttal to that. Yeah, it would be a great rebuttal to that. But like I said, what I feel as a citizen, as a patriot, is different to what the law is, to what the Constitution allows, and they have that right. I can't say that the government should do anything about it because they can't. But personally, like it's hard. It would really hurt, but hey, they have the right. Can't do nothing about that, man.
So, so what happens when the water's murky with like a pride flag, and it's all into interpretation? You can burn a pride flag, but if somebody interprets it as a hate crime towards that group of people, you are punished for it. I'm presumably there would be jail time or something more severe. So then, can't the opposite be true for the American flag?
Wait, the burning of a hate flag, of a pride flag, is considered a hate crime?
Correct. It could be.
Yeah, it
Only
can
if there's a crime that's committed with it.
Right. I think that's true, right? It can't be just the act alone. It has to be.
It's kind of like if I burned an American flag and then I hurt a soldier. I would be tried for something, but not for burning the flag. It would be for hurting the soldier. So I'm
Right,
just
those have to
going
have
to pop in
qualifiers.
really fast. I just want to say I come from a very long line of military men in my family, over 30, 40 years. And I asked all of them, all four of my brothers and my dad, what do you think about this? And they all said the same thing. First of all, it's your right. That's what we fought for. And they said, we wouldn't like it. We wouldn't want you to do it. But if that's what you want to do, you should do it. And I thought to myself, you know what? I don't think anyone that burns a flag is thinking of the soldiers when they do it. They're thinking of the government that they're pissed at. So it really doesn't have anything to do with the soldiers. It really doesn't.
Right.
They're doing it because they're angry at the government. And we love our soldiers. Everybody does. We love their sacrifice that they give for our country. So it really doesn't have anything to do with them. It's against the government. So I think everyone just has to calm down a little bit. And especially when we have someone like Trump in office that's saying he's going to put someone in jail for a year for doing something it's in our Constitution. It's our freedom. I mean, we can't take it lightly. We have to take this very seriously.
Right.
When this kind of language is being thrown around.
Are we going to be a society of emotions or values? Right.
Right. Well, are we a country of laws or of getting in our fifis all the time? We
Right.
have to go by the law. for everything. And if we get back to that, I think that we will be okay. I tell you what, I can't stand that the Triple K exists, and I can't stand what they stand for and what they say. But is it their right? Yes. Do I think it's disgusting? Yes. But I'm not going to go hurt someone over it. I'm just going to say you're a scumbag and you make me sick, and I'm going to keep it moving.
Right.
So why can't we just all do that?
What do you think, Rick? I know you wanted to jump in.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think both Sassy and Prozelli said about everything you need to say about it. You know, it's your right. It is protected under the Constitution, whether you like it or not. Would I like to see it? I guess you've got to be context to the situation. What are you protesting? And then the qualifiers if it's going to turn into a hate crime or not, just like the pride flag. What really gets you is why we're even talking about this discussion at all, that someone is trying to change the Constitution without proper procedure, without judiciary system stepping in and placing the laws for what the crime punishment is going to be. These are things that should be more outrageous than the debate itself of burning the flag. That we are having someone unconstitutionally change the Constitution without the proper process, and they're following him blindly.
You mean just saying that the First Amendment doesn't exist anymore is not proper procedure?
No, not here.
That's such that is such a good point, right? We are a system of democracy where if it was an authoritarian government, that's how it would work, right? Well, I like that. All right, so everyone here was on the yes column, so that was interesting. I think this is pretty clear cut, and I appreciate everybody's point of view. I would also like to say something. I don't know if this is a great analogy, but I just watched on YouTube recently about how we treated World War II prisoners of war. I don't know how it was with the Japanese. I know how it was with the Germans, is that we brought, I think it was 4 million or 400,000. I know it's a big discrepancy between 400,000 and 4 million, but we brought a lot of German combatants to the U.S. and put them in prison. And the thing that we did is they ate in the same mess halls as American soldiers did. They got the same food. They got 3,000 calories. They were put in really great conditions, relative speaking, for prisoners of war. And these are people that killed Americans. And we Roosevelt, and of course, I think it was Geneva Convention. I don't know if it was there at that point. But anyway, we respected the rule of law and the rules of engagement and how to treat POWs. And we rose above that, which to me, no matter, you could soldiers, and yet we treated them with high respect. And that's what makes America or our American values different than how many other countries handle the same situation. And that I think that's a beautiful thing that speaks to what we should be striving towards, and at all times, even though sometimes it's very difficult. And that would somewhat relate to this conversation, or maybe not.
Well, isn't that what makes you proud to be an American? That we are different from everybody, that we can stand on business, and we are on a moral high ground. And I just feel like now we're one of the bad guys, and people look at us like we've lost our way. And I don't know how, even if we got someone else in to fix it all, are people going to trust us again? Or are they going to think, oh, Lord, that country is capable of putting in some crazy stuff going on? I just, in our lifetime, are we going to see it? I'm going to be 55, and I feel like, oh my God, we came so far.
Can I jump in and say this? Just to be clear, right? So I am a supporter of this administration firmly, but then again, like I said, I am also able to recognize when the methods for certain things just doesn't align with our Constitution. Do I think it's right? I mean, it's a right, but do I think it should happen? I don't think anyone should burn. And I took the example earlier how even with other nations' flags, somebody fought for the flag. I don't care who it is, right? Somebody fought for the flag. If that's what represent you for your freedom, I don't think it should be burnt in any way, shape, or form for any purpose, really, unless it's for disposal. But this is not. I don't think it's a. I think a lot of people have a problem with it because of the administration who's trying to do it, and I don't want that to be where I'm coming from. I want to make it clear that I'm okay with you doing that because it is your constitutional right. But I still think, again, you're a scumbag, if I can say that on TikTok, for doing that, and we'll probably fight if I see you doing that.
Right. So that's the beauty. That's what makes us proud to be an American.
Trump.
We should be able to have disagreements like this, and different levels. Not everything's linear. Different levels of where you think certain things start in terms of your personal opinions. But the buck stops with what the values are and what the law of the land is, and that's what it says in the Constitution. And no matter where you stand on this issue, you should respect the Constitution. And I would just advise all of us to be not so insecure about, even though it's an important, wildly important symbol to tens of millions of Americans, but don't be so insecure that if someone's pissed off or someone's family member has been taken off the street and that maybe they were an American as well, or something, they've been persecuted for something that goes against American values, and they decide to burn the American flag. It's their right, and we got to be bigger than that.
Well, how do you differentiate an actual American citizen from somebody that doesn't have their technical legal status here? And if they're doing it, does that change your opinion?
Say that one more time.
They have the same rights when they're in our country. Everyone has the same rights in our country.
Even if they're not a legitimate citizen, they haven't
You
gone
get
through the whole process.
one foot on the soil, you have the same rights.
Yep,
as
that's in the Constitution.
Any person. It's in the Constitution. Any person.
Yep, it's in the Constitution.
Negotiating the laws of the
was
land
very
for sure.
specific, so they didn't go, because if you look at other things, it says American citizen and things like that. It says any person.
But do we not recognize what can go incredibly wrong with that?
It doesn't matter. It's the law. It's any person. It's the Constitution. That's what I'm saying. We have to go back to following the actual law and get out of our feelings and what could happen and what couldn't happen. We have to follow the law.
Okay, can I respond to that? So just so you guys know, I am, both my parents are from Haiti, okay? So I wasn't born here, I moved here. So what she's saying is, I understand, it is correct. It is the law of the land. Any one person here, the Constitution protects all person here, which is, for me, again, why I think it's very important. Those who are here illegally, should not be, then take them back so they can have the proper representation where they are legally allowed to be. And if they're not here, then the deportation thing, I'm okay with it because of that.
Well, that's different. We have to change the laws then. We have to go back and change our whole immigration system, which it's not perfect. I mean, there's a problem if you have to wait 8 to 10 years to get your citizenship, obviously, and people are so desperate to come in different ways. But we don't just have a southern border either. We have other borders. People come in and they overstay their visas. That's what Elon did. I mean, there's a lot of people that have done the same thing, but because they're not the color of a paper towel, they get a different outcome. So for me, I have a problem with that because everyone's not being treated the same. And if we just follow the law, then everyone gets treated the same.
Yeah, but people, I don't want to make this about immigration, and I don't want to do that. I want to keep it to this, so I won't even discuss that anymore. But that's not correct.
Well, it's in the 14th. Well, it's not just a law. It's in the Constitution that any person in the 14th Amendment should not be deprived of life, liberty, property without due process. So it's not just a small law. It's like you would need to have an amendment, something dramatic to change that law. And again, we don't have to like it. It doesn't matter what we like. It doesn't matter because we have 370 million different opinions. The opinions don't matter, right? It's actually what the laws are. And if we're going to be, as so many people are on both sides, about the rule of law and order, it has to be applied universally to all groups, all races, all sexes, etc.
Then it's transparent and fair for everybody. I don't know why we can't just do that, because then you take out all the pissing matches, right?
I mean,
and all
typically
the
we
arguments.
do. I mean, in theory and practice, we want to do that, but then there's things that are happening currently that are challenging said procedures and operations.
Like what?
Like we're not following the Constitution, I think is what Rick, basically you're saying is we're having procedures like you can take, I think the ICE raids, and they're not following legal procedures. One example.
But procedures was already broken prior. So the ICE thing is happening because people weren't following our laws. Our laws.
That's not true, Brazili.
If you're illegally though.
3
So that's
million.
not following our laws.
Obama deported 3 million immigrants legal immigrants during his term at a rate as high as Trump, and he did it through due process.
Correct.
So
Just
you,
because you say something
my
doesn't make
point
it
is this. My
true.
point is this. If my point is this, right? So, and we're gonna disagree, but I want, I do understand, and I want to continue to understand where you're coming from, right? So my point is this: if people aren't coming here, these people wouldn't have to go through this, and the government wouldn't have to take the extreme measures or even doing it the way Obama did it. That wouldn't have to happen if we whether it's other countries educating or we are educating people in general, and if people knew if they get here, they'll be sent right back home in a way they may not like, that eliminates the whole problem. We
No,
have
well,
here
but I think
illegally.
we have a different situation that happened here. Obama, they called him the deporter in chief. He did like 3.5 million. Biden did a bunch too. And then what happened is Trump was saying that there was 20 million people that were illegal in our country. That was not true. Now they cannot keep up with the numbers, so now they're just ripping everybody off the street because we don't have 20 million illegal people here. It was a lie. So
I
that's why we're
think I'm
having
missing. I think I'm
we're
missing
having
something
to
because
kidnap
I'm
people.
sorry.
let me give
I
you.
think I'm missing something because it sounds to me like it's more of a the way Trump is doing it is not. I'm not talking about the deportation itself. I'm talking about securing the border. If people are here illegally, or just preventing people from coming here illegally. Again, I came here. I'm an immigrant here. I came here processed properly, came through the proper port of authority, and I came here the proper way. If we can get to that point to where people don't just come in, and when they do, they get sent back
Okay,
to do it
I have a
properly.
question for you.
Go
I have a
ahead.
question for you then.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you came in, and I have many people that came in, from other countries and did it legally too. But some people, when they come in and then they claim asylum, they have 365 days for their court date, right? So during that year, they're going to get a job. They're probably going to meet someone. They're going to start living their life. They have a TIN number, so now they can, do some terrible work that none of us would want to do, but at least they're in the country and they're trying to build a life. Then a year later comes, they go to their court date, and now they get kidnapped by ICE, and they followed the laws, and they haven't done anything wrong but seek asylum.
Okay, so see, here's the thing: is we pretending that everybody that crossed the border illegally is here seeking asylum, or that they would even qualify if they're in that first year. By all means, if they are doing it properly, they're entering to the
Yes.
proper port and they're
Yes.
doing it legally. I have no problem with that. Nobody has a problem with that at
So then
all.
explain to me, how do you feel when you see on TV when they're at the court date and they come out and the judge just told them they could stay, and then they get ripped away from their families and people are thrown to the ground, and they followed the law and they're within that year?
Okay, so let me answer to that then. Okay, so if I don't know anybody that has happened to personally, right? So we saying it.
You see
Hold
it
on,
on
hold on,
TV
hold on,
every
ma'am.
day.
Ma'am, you're talking on the TV, but the TV get to screw, whether it's for the right or the left, they get to put out the news the way they want to.
Prezilli, it's very clear evidence. You can't if you're going to dispute that's happening, then you're not being rational or sensible. It is happening. There's hundreds of cases that have been documented of this happening. This is not some conspiracy. So go on.
This is procedural, though, right? It's if you have somebody that's waiting 8, 9, 10 years, and then somebody decides to just come across, and then they get.
Well, that's not what we're talking about. What they're talking about specifically is someone seeked asylum. They're going through the process in a year. They got, even like Sassy's example, is they got approved by the judge to stay, and ICE is still taking them and deporting them.
Again, because I don't have, I know you're saying that there is proof of it. I can't speak to things that I don't know. I don't like doing
Well,
that.
if you're going to go on that basis of only the things that you see directly, and you're going to ignore everything else.
No. It's not that things that I see personally per se, but I'm saying I can't just take what I see on the television, what's reported the way it was reported. If I don't read the court cases and see where they did take this person, if I see the records, if I can pull the public document, or somebody pull it and really show me to its entirety the whole thing, then yes, absolutely, that's wrong. And I'm not saying that if that what you just said happens, that is wrong, absolutely 100% wrong. But to pretend that everybody who crossed the border is seeking asylum and they're all running from prosecution from
Yeah,
where
but
they're coming from, that's wrong.
to speak in absolutes is not really being, you're not trying to have a good faith discussion, because nothing is just 100% one way or the other. But many people that come here are trying to build a better life, and I'm sure that when they look
Do it
behind
legally,
them,
that's fine. Do it legally.
yeah, but what you're not understanding is You can come over the way they're coming over and get 1 foot on our soil, and it's still legal. Do you know it's a misdemeanor? It's
I
the
don't care
same
what
as
the
it's
level
the
of the crime is,
wait,
ma'am.
wait, wait,
If it's a
wait.
crime, it's a
Wait, I
crime.
want to finish. It's the same as crossing the middle of the road, jaywalking.
And I can get a
It's not a
ticket for that.
crime. It's not a
But I
crime.
can get a ticket for that.
It's not a crime. You
I know,
don't,
but
but
you can get.
Brazili, you don't understand what a crime is. A crime has to be like a traffic violation is breaking a traffic law. It is not a crime. A crime is a higher level.
When you go to
But what I'm saying is
prison or
there are
jail.
consequences for whether it's a regulation, a rule, or a law, right? That's what we're trying to say. There are consequences for it. One of the consequences for crossing illegally is deportation, right?
Yes, but
Okay,
if
there
they're
you
told
go.
that they can
Then
stay here for a year and they're working and they get in front of a judge and the judge says you can stay here and they walk out in the hallway and then they're snatched up, that is not following the law, even with
Roger
the
that, ma'am.
court.
We will stay continue to agree to disagree because I don't think we're gonna see eye to eye on this one. And I don't,
Personally, let me make something, give you my point of view on something that I think is important, especially coming from Haiti. I know a lot of people in Central America that have family members, some that have come illegally and legally. And here's the point of view. You're saying button up the border. We shouldn't let people in. And I don't think most people, even liberals, would disagree with that. We have laws in place. If we want to prevent them from coming into the country, we should use that Band-Aid and make the border more secure. No one's necessarily arguing with it. It's like if they end up getting onto our land, whether you like it or not, they do have due process, the right of due process, the same as an American citizen will. Again, you don't have to like it. That's fine, but that's the Constitution of the United States. You don't have to like everything in the Constitution, but you should respect it, especially as someone that took the immigration test and pledged to say that I will always support the Constitution, right? When you took your immigration test, you did that, right?
correct.
Okay. So, but keep in mind, I know we went off the tangent from burning the flag to immigration, and we're going to come back in a moment. But remember, keep in mind, just like you and a lot of people in Haiti and in Colombia and Venezuela, the thing about immigration is if America was promoting its values and what it stood for around the globe more forcefully like we used to, and I'm not saying go to war, I'm just saying encourage it. The reason you have so much immigration is not because of just America is so amazingly great and people want it. People don't want to leave their homes and leave their families. They only want to leave their families because they want better opportunity or they're being persecuted or they're not safe and many of those things. For the vast majority of immigrants don't want to leave. They're looking for a better life. And if America was promoting its values and preventing authoritarianism and helping countries become more value-oriented and preventing mafia states and authoritarians and autocracy and so forth, you would naturally have less immigration. And that's the thing about democracy versus authoritarianship or fascism. If democracy is becoming stronger around the world, you have less immigration. If democracy is waning and becoming weaker, authoritarianship and autocracy is strengthening. And when you have strengthening, then you have more persecution of people, and then you naturally have more immigration. So it's not just about a border issue. These are values and our laws. We should protect our borders, but we also have to do a better job of this American democracy experiment and trying to encourage it throughout the world. And then you would have less immigration.
I think there's a lot more to it though than I mean, I hear what you're saying and mostly I agree with what you're saying. But I think the other part though that you have to think about though is I've worked in construction for 14 years and I've been around roofers, I've been around tile guys that are not from this country, and I've talked to most of them, and a lot of them come here for X amount of months and then they go back home and they take their money with them and then they take 4 or 5 months off and then they come back and work again because our money is worth more. They can stay where they are from.
They're looking for a better life, right? Because in their countries, they don't have a capitalistic economic system that's as advantageous because of, most likely, in many cases, is because of the dictatorships that they have in those countries.
But then there's also the aspect of if they are taking their money with them, quote unquote, you remove that money from our system, and our system is supposed to exchange as many hands as possible. And that's how everything kind of stays afloat. So if you constantly you're kind of siphoning off our money to other countries for NGOs, for for immigration, for whatever, it's not just as simple as,
Sure.
it goes much deeper is all I'm trying
Yeah.
to say.
Sassy, you have any thoughts on that? I think we lost Sassy. Well, George, Jorge, how do you pronounce it?
George is fine.
George, what's up, George?
Hey, not much. I caught the last bit of what you said. I kind of want to respond to it, but I just want to make sure I got it clear.
Go for it.
What exactly? So you're saying that? Why exactly you're saying Latin American countries or South American countries are immigration is high because of the economic opportunity in America, and what? So whose fault is it?
Oh, it's not our fault, but we've always tried to, not always, let me use my words carefully. If we support democracy and an open economic system, those systems are generally good. So it's not our fault, but we could lower immigration dramatically by ensuring that people have liberty and freedom in their countries and opportunity. So making our borders strong, no one, certainly not me, is not saying that we should not protect our borders and we should always have legal immigration and not illegal immigration. But you have to understand it's also just a Band-Aid. It's the last line of defense. If we truly cared about our values and American values and promoting liberty and self-rule around the world, then you would have naturally less immigration.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But if you have a culture of people that keeps voting for kind of collectivist or leftist ideologies, they're going to be in a permanent state of repression.
Yeah, and I want to add to this, right? So you talked about damn, I'm losing my train of thought. But what I wanted to get to is having people here. I think you said, obviously you want people to come here legally and things like that, right? What we had over the past the last 2 years of the last administration, and I don't want this to be again a right versus left, because I want to speak on value and value alone, right? So what we had with the last 2 years of the last administration, we had this humanitarian parole program, but that's not what it was at all. And it was 4 main countries that was the beneficiary of this program, where people, I think it was 200,000 a month, 200,000 people from these countries were able to come to the U.S. while we already had an immigration crisis, right? But we were allowing 200,000 people to come from these countries with no vetting at all. And I know this because I have cousins here right now that if you had a person that was going to sign immigration form 131, I think it was, which is a affidavit of support. If you had a person that made around $30,000 a year, they could sign that petition for you and you can move to the US. No vetting at all, none. So we have a lot of people who shouldn't be traveling to any place, moving to the United States. I'm talking about criminals moving here because of a program that was allowing more people to come to this country, while we already have plenty of citizens of those countries already here in this country trying to get legal status to stay here. Why didn't we authorize those people who's been here for that long to get them legally to stay here and be able to work and not be afraid to get, they had to work under the table because they were illegal. So why don't we legalize them first instead of allowing more people, 200,000 a month, to do this?
I'm not going to validate whether that policy was legit or not. I don't know anything about it, but so you disagreed with the last administration and how that was handled, if that was true. Again, I'm not going to speak to the validity of it. But that's why you maybe voted the way you did, right?
It was part of why I did, but I don't think it's this the last administration specifically, and that's what I'm trying to say is immigration has been an issue, and I feel like no one has. Sometimes you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. So I feel like no,
but then you're ignoring what Joe Biden wanted to do in his first year of term and in his last year of term about immigration and the Republicans. They had bills, like actually legislation and process for hardening the immigration laws and making it harder for illegal immigration. So you just have to do your own research on that. Trump killed it before he was president because he told the Republicans to vote against it. The Borders and Security Department was for it, and then they just terminate it. The Republicans just abandon it.
Why did
So
the
we're talking about what
Democrats?
didn't happen. We're talking about what did not happen. I'm talking about what did happen. 200,000 people coming in while we already had a problem that he was trying to fix. But instead of, okay, let's find other means, he brought in more people to be more of a problem is what I'm talking about. What did happen, not what didn't.
Wait, I have a question though. Why did Biden need to spend why did he need to waste taxpayer dollars when Trump can do it for free?
So you don't care about values and law and order. So that's an easy answer.
I do care about law and order.
So what does
He's
that
using
what does it
all
have
of
to do with it cost money or if it's for free?
So Biden wanted to spend this the bill you're talking about, right? It's like you're talking about like the $112 billion bill.
Yeah.
The
So
bipartisan
Biden, Trump didn't do it for free. Trump is trampling on human rights, right?
He's not.
Yes, he is. Of
He's
course
not.
he is. He's
Using
breaking.
administrative removal,
He's
executive removal.
he's
He's
breaking
not.
he's breaking the law according to the
What
Constitution.
law did he break?
He's breaking the
What law did he
14th Amendment.
Which is what part of the 14th?
Is that any person, any person in America, any person, not citizen, has the same, cannot be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of laws. You don't have to like it.
What due process was broken? What? No, that's fine. Let's just go down through the logic.
Due
What
process is ICE taking them off the streets and deporting them without due process, without a court hearing.
What part of due process was not followed? All the people that, by the way, court hearing is not part of due process. Executive removals do not require court hearings. Administrative removals, they were done under Biden, they were done under Clinton, they were done under Bush. That is part of due process. Due process does not mean you get your day in court. It just means that depending on your status, your legal status.
There was an expedited due process under the Obama administration.
And there was such was also true under Trump. Such was also true under Clinton. Clinton literally signed an act in 1996 that he used that was completely legal. It was part of due process. Trump has utilized the exact same things. You'd have to tell me
exact same thing. So just taking people off the streets with masks and without identifying who they are and deporting them, you think that's the same?
Are they not allowed to take people out of like in public property?
No, they have rights.
Not in public. Yeah, they do have rights. But if they've identified who the people are that are illegally here, the federal government has the right to enforce what's it called? Illegal immigration laws.
Sassy, you have any response?
Process.
If you're still here. Oh, I may have muted you just because you had background noise.
I'm just saying there's no when you actually look at it, there are a few cases where due process was actually broken, but it's like below 100 people.
All right,
Like,
we'd
it's
have to
not-
do the research on that. I don't believe that's the case, and I think other people would make a much stronger argument. Regardless, I do appreciate everybody's time. I didn't mean this to go down the rabbit's hole on immigration. You know, I was mostly interested in this topic. I actually have dinner to make. It's pizza night for me, so I appreciate your perspectives and joining. Again, if you're new to this channel, you can have disagreements about these issues. That's totally cool. Personal differences, no problem with that. But please remember that this channel is about eliminating corruption from government, eliminating the big money from special interest corporations and billionaires. And unless we solve that problem, we'll never, ever solve any of the other hundreds of other issues amicably that can be solved. We have much bigger problems. Immigration is a very touchy subject for a lot of people. So is burning the flag. I understand that. We all have our points of views. That's what makes America amazing, is that we should be able to have those, but we should always support our values. And right now, when it comes to our representation, our government does not represent the people. Our government representatives are representing special interest corporations and billionaires, and I hope we can all agree with that. And with that said, thanks for everybody for joining. I'm going to come back in about an hour and a half after some pizza, and then we'll talk about a different topic. So thanks for everybody.
Good night.
Oh, shit.